It's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Pomegranate podcast. Team sheet Tantrum for Athletic Bilbao as they make their way to the formidable Fortress Bescot or Fortress Poundland today to play Aston Villa in pre-season. The team is out. We're very late for this podcast. I must say it was my fault, but the team is out already, and I'm not really too surprised with what I see, but it's still worth going through. Whoa, what the hell has happened there? Everything just seems huge. So we've got Gauchi in goals, Cash, Bogard, Pau, Dina, Onana, Tielemans, Ramsey, McGinn, Bailey, and Rogers. Paddy, talk to me. What do we make of that?
Apart from my spelling of Ramsey there, sorry, I have to change that. Yeah, no great surprise, really, is there?
No, I don't think there is.
I wasn't expecting to see Emi Martinez. I wasn't expecting to see Emi Martinez or Watkins or Esri Konza back in there, and we haven't seen them, and they're not on the bench.
No, I wasn't expecting that either. Sure, they only came back. Well, 3 of them came back on Monday, and Duran came back yesterday. So can't really expect them to be on the bench, I don't think. For that one, they'll be on the bench the weekend against Dortmund. I suppose the only thing with regards to this is looking at the team there, and without them being, I didn't expect them to be there at all. Maybe this is a rolling on, rolling off type of 7 substitutions in the second half job today as well. And the reason I say that is because, and actually it's really interesting, no Diego Carlos, Paddy. Not suspended for this one. Remember, everyone was talking about he was suspended. He's suspended for the last one. And maybe he was. He ain't suspended for this one, and he's not on the bench.
I honestly don't think we see him again. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
Neither do I. But so like with the likes of Barkley, Buendia, and Maatsen probably wanting and probably will be getting game time in this game today. I'd imagine we might see. I would imagine we will see Nedeljkovic as well. It's an interesting one. We're going to see changes up top as well with regards to Philippe Beres. Will probably come in a link junior. So again, I had said previously that I think that this would be a starting 11 and it would be taken as a proper match situation. But the feeling for me with this is there will be 11 subs. Yes, no Enzo Barnechea either. Nothing reported regards to that. I've heard nothing.
I've heard nothing. And Kevin can't understand the logic. The logic is they haven't done enough training. They've had 3 weeks off, so they need to be integrated back in, and you can be sure you'll see them at the weekend.
I think for certain you'll see all those guys at the weekend. And look, this is one of the parts, like, we all talk about the football season and stuff like that. It's great having so many games and such, but like when the likes of Klopp and when the likes of managers and players and stuff like that, when they do have a crack off the system with regards to the amount of games, they're probably right. There are times when we give out about it because it's used as an excuse, maybe, and a lot of teams bigger teams use it as an excuse when they lose important games. But they're probably right. Like, these players, the likes of Emi, the likes of Watkins, Konza, and Duran will have gotten 3 weeks off. That's all that I've gotten all year. Is 3 weeks off.
And badly needed from the amount of football that they played. There's a couple of other notable. Robin Olsen isn't there. We can only assume that there is an issue with that head injury he picked up, or he's on the way out. We don't know. He's not there. Kane Kessler-Hayden is also on the missing list.
I think, did I read somewhere that he picked up a knock? I think I read
Possibly.
somebody picked up a knock. I could be wrong on that, like, but I wasn't as surprised. I did notice he wasn't there, but I wasn't as surprised that he wasn't there. If that makes sense, the two of those guys. But Barnechea is definitely the one. Let's see. John Townley's talking here. Does he have anything up on? Hasn't any post on Barnechea, but I'm sure that will all come out in the wash as to why he isn't there. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to find the Bilbao team. I'd expect the Bilbao team will have a rather similar situation with regards to Athletic Bilbao. Paddy, like that starting team, he's pretty much gone with more or less that starting team for the last couple of games, really, when you think about it. I know there's been a small bit of interchangeability with Archer and Ramsey not being in the team, and Rogers going on the left and Archer going up top. And there's been interchangeability with regards to the goalkeepers and having the Delkovic in it right back and so on. But this seems to be like Onana and Tielemans maybe what he's going to rest upon, I suppose, come opening day, and it's the most make sense partnership I think that we have within the team. What do you think, or am I watching something that isn't there?
Yeah, I think we kind of discussed this last night, didn't we? That he seems to be leaning towards that as being a starting double pivot there. So, look, it's a strong side that's out there. We're obviously struggling in the goalkeeper department with Olsen being injured, and maybe he's given it another opportunity to see, is Gauchi ready, or do we send him out on loan as well? So there's like Bogard could go out on loan. There's loads that could happen here with the team that's out there.
But I think
we've obviously got.
Oh, sorry, you froze there. I thought you were finished. Go on. No, I was saying.
Notably, our three best. All right, there's a delay. Okay, go for it.
I was saying that our three best, like those players, you can't say. I don't think that they go out and loan. They might be in after the first round of the League Cup situation that Villa like to take opportunities with. But yeah, they're getting good game time here today against a good team. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I've obviously left out Bailey out. I tried to type it while you were loading the intro, and I put Archer in instead of Bailey. So sorry about that, guys.
I'm just trying to find an Athletic Bilbao starting lineup, but
I tried to find it there and couldn't.
No, can't find it either. Not on FootMob, not on SofaScore. Let me see if I can find it there. I just don't think it's out there yet. So we may not have a Bilbao lineup to go on.
Have they got an official Twitter? Because I can't find it.
They do, yeah. Athletic Club is what they're called, at Athletic Club. They have a pin post up to say that it's match day and that against Villa and the West Cop, but they don't have any team up. They have having drinks at the Locker pub next to the pitch where Athletic plays tonight. Yeah. So there's they're retweeting fans that are over there anyway. So
right, fair enough.
I'm just gonna check this other Twitter. Yeah, no, nothing up there yet.
Yeah, I can't see anything either. I'll refresh it every now and again there and have a look.
There's big games going on in the Champions League tonight, Paddy. Apoel are playing against Slovan Bratislava, and Jagiellonia are playing against Bodo Glimt. So you never know, we might see one of those teams rock up at Villa Park this year. Just said I'd mention it, considering it popped up here on my screen in front of me when I was trolling through SofaScore.
I think you love saying Bodo Glimt. I think you're mad to see them playing Villa, are you?
I am mad. I'm mad to see Patrick Berg come to Aston Villa because I still think he's a really good player. I don't know how he's still playing with Bodo Glimt, but such is life at the minute. Yeah, I'm just trying to find this team, guys. Apologies. See if
they're trying to find it there. Rod, thank you so much. We'll donate that $5 to Duran's Taxi Fund. And Matt Halnan, thanks so much. We won't have any points, seeing as it's a school night. Well, Neil might, but I can't tonight. So thank you so much for that.
I need them after the day I've put down today. I need them. That's all I'd say. What was I going to say there as well is, do you know what? There's two wily old foxes in the dugouts tonight. You know, obviously Unai Emery on our side and Ernesto Valverde for Athletic Madrid or Athletic Bilbao. I think that's going to be interesting. I always look, I'm on record as saying that I absolutely love Bilbao as a club. Everything they stand for is fantastic. I love that colloquial nature. I love that neighbourly nature. The almost garrison nature that the club has. Being a Basque club, you would expect that, you know, proud of their Basque heritage. Probably don't even, in certain areas, don't consider themselves as Spanish, I would imagine. Knowing some people from the Basque country that I've worked with previously that have gotten very touchy when you call them Spanish previously. But, the fact that they can keep the show on the road with only signing or predominantly signing Basque players is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And they've got some really good players on show today, or they will have some very good players on show today. And I think it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, you know, some guys that we know from the Premier League, a 34-year-old Ander Herrera is going to be out there in some capacity tonight. Iñaki Williams obviously will be there, Nico Williams' brother. Striker and Gorka Goretzka as well. Somebody that they lean on heavily up top also. Yeah, so it's going to be there's going to be an interesting mixed match of players there tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, we may not have him in the dugout.
Yeah.
We also had a message there from Elf. He says he's in the stadium. There's no one there. Well, it is in Poundland Stadium. It is on there tonight. So
it's in the Poundland Stadium, not in Poundland in Walsall. It's in the Poundland Stadium. So big distinction there.
Which is only just across the road. So if they're gone to the Poundland, it's not too far away.
Exactly. There's one player I want to highlight. It's Sanchez from for Bilbao, attacking midfielder, big, tall, rangy guy, 6'2", a couple of caps for Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Just a nice player. Nice player. He's about 24, 25, I'd say, at this stage. And obviously he's died in the wool Basque. Trying to get players out of that club is difficult, specifically players who are, lineages of Basque players and maybe have brothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, whatever that have played for Athletic Bilbao in previously. Trying to get them out of that club is nigh and impossible at times. And there's a lot of players that have stayed there, probably past their time. The likes of Iker Muniain springs to mind. Arguably Iñaki Williams as well. And it'll be interesting. I'm going to take a look at him if he's playing tonight, Sanchez. And we have a team there. So it's Paredes, Herrera, Yuri, Goretzka, Jalo, Sanchez, Iñaki Williams, Berchiche, DeMarcos, Padilla, and Paredes. And I noticed, Paddy, you stood back and sat back and let me pronounce all those names, and you were not jumping in to name that team.
Absolutely not. And we also point out, in case someone's listening, because I know a lot of people put us on the radio through their car as they're driving the games, that's a predicted. He doesn't know whether that's predicted or not. So it's all we have to go on so far.
Yeah. Interesting. Like, as I said, they have a limited squad at Bilbao. And they've got some big names out there, as I said before. They're going to have their big striker Goretzka in there. They're going to have Ander Herrera, as I mentioned. Berchiche is going to be in there as well. And that Sanchez, the guy that I mentioned, also is going to be there. So this is they're not coming here to just for a junket at all. They're here to play their first team, and Villa aren't in the position to do that currently at the moment. And it's going to be interesting to see how we get on.
Yeah, would I be correct in saying that that Nico Williams is their only international that they're missing?
Yes, yeah. No, they have players who have international caps for Spain already, but Nico Williams, I think, was the only one that was on the panel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't happen too often that you're meeting a team at this stage of the season that has it near enough its full complement of players.
One person, actually, there was another player, the goalkeeper Unai Simon. He was on the. He's not in there today. He's not in there, so he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, we'll focus on ourselves. We've seen all of these players so far. I think the one notable one on the outfield side is Bogard. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on tonight. I think that's the one outfield that he'd be looking at. Gauchi is obviously, as I've mentioned previously. The rest of them, I would imagine, are all in with a shout of being starters for West Ham next week. And if they're not starting, they'll definitely be on the bench. So I didn't have a look. Am I correct in saying Moreno is not on the bench? It's Maatsen.
No,
is that
he
right?
is. He's Moreno's on the bench as well. Yeah,
Both on
he's
the
on the
bench, are
bench.
they? Right, okay.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Like the team that Bilbao have named tonight as well. And once again, going back to managers saying that the players are overplayed. Like they're going to have Berchicha in there. He's going to be 34 years of age. If I'm not mistaken as well, Oscar de Marcos was named in that team as well that you put up there. He must be 35 or 36 at this rate. He's their captain. And Herrera is in there. He's 34. Like the striker I spoke about. Yeah, like there's guys in there that aren't exactly young. So it's while they're coming to play ball tonight, and I don't want to fall into that trap as well, because we spoke about the Olympiacos team. We mentioned there was a couple of old heads inside there as well, and those old heads ended up being complete another war horses and giving us a runaround for Olympiacos in the Conference League last year. But it'll just be interesting to see how we do with those players, and how we deal with those old heads inside there, even though we've got a lot of old, like experienced heads in there ourselves. Getting minutes into their legs, whether they make wholesale changes as well is something I want to look at.
Yeah, sorry, just an update on Unai Simon. He's actually injured.
Is he?
So he's out till the end of August. So, that could be the reason why he's not there. Sir Unai Emery's asking there, have we seen our new centre back? I don't know whether he's making up that name. I'm afraid to put it on the screen.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? That's not a player that if I typed into any of the scouting software, I think I would get it. No, I wonder who our new centre back.
I don't know which Irish accent he was hoping to hear that in, but he's gonna do it neither. But thanks for donating.
Yeah. We can't pop it up. I know you were good enough to donate and put it in there as a super chat, but yeah, I'm sure I will do my research on Suki later on and see and see what the situation is with him. But it will be interesting to see what centre halves are linked, I suppose, and if any do come in, because we're at the stage now whereby no Diego Carlos tonight, no reason for him not to be in the squad other than he's probably out the gap. No John Duran in there, obviously, as we know. We mentioned that previously because he's just back, but we do need reinforcements regardless in those two positions. And we spoke about it last night. And as I say, last night's State of Aston Villa podcast was, by design, it was devil's advocatean, if that is an actual phrase that we can use. It was supposed to be worded that way to say, well, we need players in this area. It was trending on the glass half empty side. We are a glass half full podcast normally, and I think that's it was an interesting exercise to do, because a lot of the comments on it afterwards were I think it was 50-50, people agreeing with us and people disagreeing with us, with regards to it. But just to kind of clarify, I think we're in pretty good state. I think our both our first 11 and our squad are pretty interchangeable now, and I think that's a better position for this team to be, especially if we're going to be under an Unai Emery system, and we're going to go along into the season and play 40 or 45, 50 plus games again, which I hopefully we will do between all the cup competitions. So I think we're in a better position to do that now, and we still aren't finished, I think, with the signings yet. So I think it's important to just go back on that, I suppose, tally back on what we were speaking about last night and just clarify that we're not saying that Villa are up shit creek. That wasn't what last night's podcast was about.
Yeah, and if you've got a spare hour, go back and have a look over or have a listen on your commute to work tomorrow, maybe, or wherever you're out on your walk. We went into fairly decent detail of everybody, or someone gave out to me today because we never mentioned Ross Barkley as being a possible starter, but Sorry about that. We can't include everybody.
Forgot to actually, do you know what? It's probably because he was with the club before. Kind of don't really associate him as a brand new signing, if that makes sense. But yeah, you're right. Like, I'm actually surprised he's not been given a goal beside Onana today. I am surprised. I think I would have thought he'd want to see that. Emery would want to see that situation. But of course, look, I suppose, if you play the two guys who are used to playing there, who've played there all summer together as well, makes 100% sense to me. And I'm not giving out that it's not Barkley and Onana in there, but I would like to see the two of them paired together for 20 minutes or half an hour in the second half, maybe, if he gives Onana the full game to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I envisage wholesale changes again, as you said. Whether that happens at halftime or 60 minutes, 60 minutes would make more sense to get the proverbial minutes under the belt. But I'm not sure there's anybody out there who needs them at this stage. They've all had a decent run. And look, it's all centered towards being ready for Saturday week. And I think we'll see, and again, we'll probably see the three boys come in for Dortmund on Saturday to make sure that they've had a decent run out. Like, having 3 weeks off, even if you're out injured, you'd be put straight back into the team. So they're not lack of fitness. That's just, I would imagine they're only back 2 days, so they need to assess their fitness and make sure they're okay before they put them back in there. So there's a whole lot more qualified people than us that the sports science people and the fitness people have to clear everybody before they're put out on the pitch. So these guys don't take a day off, as we said previously. They would have been training on their 3 weeks off for sure, because that's the way the game is now. It's a 365 day a year training process, so you have to look after yourself.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's why I've announced my retirement from professional football a couple of weeks ago. So just for those who are just tuning in a bit later and didn't see the full team, I'll just add it onto the screen here. So it's Gauchi in goals: Cash, Bogart, Pau, Digne, Onana, Tielemans, Ramsey, McGinn, Bailey and Rogers, with a bench of Ziyech, Wright, Barkley, Buendia, Alex Moreno, Illing Jr., Philogene Bedes, Nedeljkovic, Matson, Dendonker, Archer and Finkels. So that is the team that's going to go out and do battle tonight. Whether there's 11 changes at halftime, to me it probably looks like there is, or whether it's done at 60 minutes. There will be a raft of changes, I would imagine, at some stage. And yes, Dave, Mark, I was just about to pop that up there as well. The Athletic Bilbao team is in. It's Padilla, Grosabal, Yere, Paredes, Yuri, Vesca, Paredes, Iñaki Williams, Sanchez, Berenguer and Jalo. So the team we got previously with Berichichi inside there and all that was all bogus. If that is the team, then
if that is the team,
the team as well. Yeah. I think so.
He does go at length to put in the subs as well. So there's that to me seems like it is going to be the team anyway. I'm sure we'll find out in 40 minutes time when the game kicks off. When the game kicks off in the Bescott or in the a lot of people, the main topic of conversation here seems to be the omission of Diego Carlos and the fact that we haven't got Endo Barnechea or Illing Jr. Somebody just said there. Is Illing Jr. on the
Illing
bench?
Jr. is there. Yeah, he's there. I think somebody was saying that Loan Enzo and Illing Jr. out.
All right,
dangerous business for me.
Yeah, no, we need bodies, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So look, I suppose realistically looking at this team tonight and with the three lads that were coming back not in there, not even on the bench, I suppose I'm looking for more compact. I'm looking for coherency in the performance tonight. I'm looking for us to create chances. That is a valid point. A lot of people have mentioned is that we haven't created enough chances, I think, this preseason. I think that is definitely valid. I want to see us take those chances as well. It looks like Morgan Rogers will be played up top and go out there, and I suppose now we're back on home soil again and give a good account. Not too worried about the scoreline once again. But as I say, it's really about seeing partnerships develop, seeing transitions develop, and just seeing things like the backline, even though we've got Bogart in there, just the backline being a bit more coherent and and communicative. One of the biggest things I found in this preseason is that, with the changes of goalkeepers, and obviously Pau Torres being the only man that's really been a constant at that central defense. His English ain't great. Where does the communication come from? So, a lot of people talking about our defending being poor in a couple of these preseason games. For me, that is 100% to be expected based on that, because it's so important, and it can't be overlooked. The communication from Emi Martinez, and the fact that the Pau Torres is really leading that back line at the moment. I would imagine Dina is going to be doing a lot of the calling, and Cash will be doing a lot of the calling as well tonight. But that's where you're missing Ezri Konsa. That's where you miss the Tyrone Mings. That's where that's where you're missing Emi Martinez. To be as vocal in that back line as well. But I do want to see a small bit more coherency from those guys tonight, and less silly mistakes with people being caught in behind, or being caught with the ball at the edge of our box. A small bit sharper is what I'm expecting to see tonight. But for me, the score line would be great if we could score more than one goal, but I prefer to see us keep a tight game at the back more so than anything else.
Yeah, well, without a recognised striker, obviously I'm a big fan of Morgan Rogers, but he's not a recognised striker, so it'd be difficult to see where this comes from. Is Cameron Archer on the bench?
He is. Cameron Archer is on the bench. Indeed.
Okay, someone asked in the comments as well about Buendia. He's definitely on the bench.
Yeah,
it's difficult. It's difficult with our lack of strikers. So we'll just have to wait and see where the goals come from when we don't have strikers, because will no doubt be a time where we're struggling up top. So it's time for the other guys to set up and or to step up rather, and hopefully get a couple of goals under our belt as well, because it's good for the confidence, and winning is a habit. So I would like to see us get a win here or Saturday, just to take that momentum into the season. It really doesn't matter whether we do or not, but I do believe in a winning mentality, and I'm sure Unai Emery wants to put on some kind of a show this evening for the fans, and that's a strong enough team. It's as strong as a team we have available, I think. You could flip a coin for a couple of the players that are on the bench, but I think as far as I'm concerned, that's as strong as a team we could put out, if save for Ian Matson maybe coming in at left back. But there's obviously questions there that need to be answered by the players that are missing. I'm a bit disappointed not to see Baranachea, because he has excited me. All the other guys are there. Erling Jr. is there, Nedeljkovic is there, so we will surely see game time for those. Sil Swinkels is also there, who we thought may have gone out on loan, but
I don't know, did I lose Paddy or did Paddy lose me? But I think you're back there. I'm just looking at the time. I got to be somewhere for 7 o'clock, guys. So I'm really going to abruptly end this podcast. If you ask me a question, I'll answer it in the post-match podcast, which we will be on. Well, I will be here anyway, at least directly after the game. But I got to run because I have to be somewhere in literally 1 minute's time. Stay safe, stay healthy, everybody. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.